Regent. A person appointed to rule a country because the monarch is too young or unfit to rule, or is absent. Rendition. A way that something is rendered, performed, or represented, especially a performance of a dramatic role or a musical work. Roadside. The strip of land beside a road. Secretariat. A governmental administrative office or department. Sew. Join or repair something by making stitches with a needle and thread or a sewing machine. Shaky. Shaking or trembling. Sham. A thing that is not as good or as genuine as it seems to be. Statistic. A fact or piece of data obtained from a study of a large quantity of numerical information. Stature. A person's natural height when standing. Steward. A person who looks after the passengers on a ship or aircraft. Stout. Rather fat or heavily built. Stripper. For a striptease performer. Stump. The part of a tree trunk left projecting from the ground after the rest has fallen or been cut down. Subordinate. Lower in rank or position. Synagogue. A building where Jewish people meet for religious worship and instruction. Tentative. Done without confidence, hesitant. Topical. Relating to or dealing with current affairs. Uneasy. Anxious or uncomfortable. Unfold. Open or spread out from a folded position. Variance. The amount by which something changes or is different from something else. Wavelength. Physics: the distance between successive crests of a wave of sound, light, radio waves, etc. Workload. The amount of work to be done by someone or something. Admiralty. In the UK, the government department formerly in charge of the Royal Navy. Barring. Except for, if not for. Bead. A small piece of glass, stone, etc., threaded in a string with others to make a necklace or rosary. Berth. A place for a ship to moor at a wharf or harbor. Blackmail. The crime of demanding money from someone in return for not revealing information that could disgrace them. Burglary. The crime of entering a building illegally with the intent of stealing something inside. Cafeteria. A self-service restaurant. Canary. A bright yellow finch with a tuneful song, popular as a cage bird. Chilean. A person from Chile. Clumsy. Not smooth or graceful in movement or action. Contingency. A future event or circumstance that is possible but cannot be predicted with certainty. Cupboard. A piece of furniture or small recess with a door and usually shelves, used for storage. Daft. Informal, silly, foolish. Deprivation. Hardship resulting from the lack of basic necessities. Duly. In accordance with what is required, appropriate, or expected. Dusk. The darker stage of twilight. Episcopal. Relating to a bishop or bishops. Everlasting. Lasting forever or a very long time. Excellency. His, your, etc. Frenzy. A state or period of uncontrolled excitement or wild behavior. GG. Urge or encourage someone to do something foolish or risky. Godfather. A male godparent. Groundwater. Water held underground in the soil or in rock. Inadvertently. Unintentionally. Indifferent. Having no particular interest in or feelings about something. Inject. Introduce a drug or other substance into the body with a syringe. Invariably. In every case or on every occasion, always. Invincible. Too powerful to be defeated or overcome. Jubilee. A special anniversary, especially one celebrating 25 or 50 years of something. Kinetic. Relating to or resulting from motion. Lamb. Informal in the process of running away or escaping. Lamb. Often lamb into, informal hit someone or something hard or repeatedly. Lavender. A small evergreen shrub with narrow strong-smelling leaves and bluish-purple 735 logger flowers. Lemonade. A sweetened drink made from lemon juice or lemon flavoring and sweetened water. Lodging. Temporary accommodations. Mania. Mental illness characterized by an overactive imagination and excited activity. Mule. The offspring of a male donkey and a female horse, typically sterile. Mythical. Occurring in or characteristic of myths or folk tales. Neutron. A subatomic particle of about the same mass as a proton but without an electric charge. Orderly. Neatly and methodically arranged. Orient. The Orient, literary the countries of the East, especially East Asia. Outset. The start or beginning. Parry. Ward off a weapon or attack. Patio. A paved outdoor area adjoining a house. Peacock. A large male bird of the pheasant family, having very long tail feathers with eye-like markings that can be fanned out in display. Postcard. A card for sending a message by mail without an envelope. Powerhouse. A person or thing having great energy or power. Precursor. A person or thing that comes before another of the same kind. Preferable. More desirable or suitable. Preparatory. Done in order to prepare for something. Prism. A transparent object with triangular ends that breaks light up into the colors of the rainbow. Proclamation. A public or official announcement. Provocative. Deliberately causing annoyance or anger. Purposely. Deliberately, on purpose. Questionnaire. A set of questions, usually with a choice of answers, written for a survey or statistical study. Reclaim. Recover possession of something. Reflex. An action or movement performed without conscious thought as a response to something. Relocate. Move to a new place and establish one's home or business there. Rematch. A second match or game between two sports teams or players. Renal. Relating to the kidneys. Restrained. Reserved or unemotional. Riddle. A question or statement that is worded in such a way that one needs to think hard to find its answer or meaning. Riddle. Make many holes in someone or something. Roach. Informal one. A cockroach. Roe. Also hard roe, the mass of eggs contained in the ovaries of a female fish or shellfish, especially when ripe and used as food. Rubble. Rough fragments of stone, brick, concrete, etc., especially as the debris from the demolition of buildings. Sapphire. A transparent blue precious stone. Seam. A line where two pieces of fabric are sewn together. Sectional. Of or relating to a section. Simulate. Imitate the appearance or nature of. Sioux. A member of a North American Indian people of the northern Mississippi Valley area. Sniff. Draw in air audibly through the nose. Soluble. Of a substance, able to be dissolved, especially in water. Solvent. Having more money than one owes. Squid. A mollusk that lives in the sea, with a long body, 8 arms, and 2 long tentacles. Strapped. Informal short of money. Sturdy. Strongly and solidly built or made. Swarm. A large group of insects flying closely together. Tanker. A ship, road vehicle, or aircraft for carrying liquids in bulk. Timetable. A list or plan of times at which events are scheduled to take place. Torpedo. A long, narrow self-propelled underwater missile designed to be fired from a ship, submarine, or an aircraft. Trolley. A trolley car or trolleybus. Undocumented. Not recorded in or proved by documents. What? A Buddhist monastery or temple. Wolverine. A heavily built short-legged mammal with a long brown coat and a bushy tail, native to northern tundra and forests. Wrought. Of metals, beaten out or shaped by hammering. Yearbook. An annual publication of the graduating class in a school or college, giving photographs of students and details of school activities in the previous year. Yikes. Informal, humorous expressing shock and alarm. Abbot. A man who is the head of an abbey of monks. Ache. A continuous or long-lasting dull pain. Afro. African. Afro. A hairstyle consisting of a mass of very tight curls all around the head. Ancestral. Relating to or inherited from a person's ancestor or ancestors. Antiquity. The distant past, especially before the Middle Ages. Apocalyptic. Relating to or resembling the destruction of the world. Appraisal. An act of assessing someone or something. Aqua. Relating to water. Aqua. A light bluish-green color, aquamarine. Aspen. A poplar tree with small rounded leaves. Bearer. A person or thing that carries something. Bleak. Bare and exposed to the weather. Blender. An electric device used for liquidizing or chopping food. Bogus. Not genuine or true. Chaplain. A member of the clergy. Chlorine. A poisonous pale green gaseous chemical element that may be added to water as a disinfectant. Chow. Informal food. Chubby. Plump and rounded. Clement. Of weather, mild. Collusion. Secret cooperation in order to deceive others. Coroner. An official who holds inquests into violent, sudden, or suspicious deaths. Correctional. Relating to punishment intended to rectify criminals' behavior. Creamy. Resembling or containing a lot of cream. Dirk. A short dagger of a kind formerly carried by Scottish Highlanders. Disbelief. Inability or refusal to accept that something is true or real. Discreet. Careful to keep something secret or to avoid undue attention. Dizzy. Having a sensation of spinning around and losing one's balance. Duet. A performance by two singers, instrumentalists, or dancers. Enact. Make a bill or other proposal law. Expressive. Effectively conveying thought or feeling. Fiddle. Informal for a violin. Flaming. Sending out flames. Glossy. Shiny and smooth. Grit. Small loose particles of stone or sand. Haram. Forbidden by Islamic law. Horrendous. Highly unpleasant or horrifying. Hostel. An establishment that provides cheap food and lodging for a particular group of people. Hound. A dog of a breed used for hunting. Illegitimate. Not allowed by law or a particular set of rules. Illicit. Forbidden by law, rules, or accepted standards. Insomnia. The condition of being unable to sleep. Karaoke. A form of entertainment in which people sing popular songs over pre-recorded backing tracks. Lagoon. A stretch of salt water separated from the sea by a low sandbank or coral reef. Limp. Not stiff or firm. Limp. Walk with difficulty because of an injured leg or foot. Linguistics. The scientific study of language and its structure. Lucifer. The devil. Lunatic. A person who is mentally ill, not in technical use. Lyrical. Of literature, art, or music, expressing the writer's emotions in an imaginative and pleasing way. Mead. An alcoholic drink of fermented honey and water. Migrate. Of an animal, move from one habitat to another according to the seasons. Miraculous. Like a miracle, very surprising and welcome. Mourn. Feel deep sorrow following the death of someone. Mundane. Lacking interest or excitement. Nay. Or rather. Nutshell. In the fewest possible words. Obsessive. Thinking continually about someone or something. Overboard. From a ship into the water. Pendant. A piece of jewelry that hangs from a necklace chain. Petite. Attractively small and slim. Pimp. A man. Posterior. Chiefly anatomy further back in position, at or nearer the rear or hind end. Pouch. A small flexible bag, typically carried in a pocket or attached to a belt. Psychotic. Relating to or having a mental disorder in which a person's perception of reality is severely distorted. Reinforcement. The action of reinforcing something. Repertoire. The plays, operas, or other items known or regularly performed by a performer or company. Repository. A place or container for storage. Rumble. Make or move with a continuous deep sound. Saloon. Date at a bar, especially one associated with the American West of the 8th century. Sanction. A threatened penalty or punishment for disobeying a law or rule. Shack. A roughly built hut or cabin. Sire. The male parent of an animal. Stale. Of food, no longer fresh or pleasant to eat. Stereotype. A widely held but oversimplified idea of the typical characteristics of a person or thing. Sterile. Not able to produce children, young, crops, or fruit. Stride. Walk with long, decisive steps. Stringent. Very strict, that must be obeyed. Sulfur. A chemical element in the form of yellow crystals, which easily catches fire. Torrent. A strong and fast-moving stream of water or other liquid. Trainee. A person undergoing training for a particular job or profession. Trough. A long, narrow open container for animals to eat or drink out of. Trunks. Men's shorts worn for swimming or boxing. Tummy. Informal, a person's stomach or abdomen. Unjust. Not just, unfair. Upbringing. The way in which a child is cared for and taught how to behave while it is growing up. Venezuelan. A person from Venezuela. wager. And verb more formal term for bet. Accelerator. A foot pedal that controls the speed of a vehicle. Acrylic. Made from acrylic acid. Anchorage. A place where ships may be anchored safely. Ascent. An act of ascending something. Ballad. A poem or song telling a popular story. Betray. Endanger one's country, a person, or group of people by treacherously helping an enemy. Biotechnology. The use of microorganisms in industry and medicine for the production of antibiotics, hormones, etc. Bookstore. A store that sells new or used books. Broom. A long-handled brush used for sweeping. Brute. A violent or savage person or animal. Camouflage. The disguising of military forces and equipment by painting or covering them to make them blend in with their surroundings. Catalan. A person from Catalonia in any Spain. Chiefly. Mainly, mostly. Childbirth. The action of giving birth to a child. Compliant. Tending to be excessively obedient or ready to accept something. Continuum. A continuous sequence in which the elements 269 contraction next to each other are very similar, but the last and the first are very different. Corona. The envelope of gas around the sun or another star. Cowardly. Lacking courage. Cultivate. Prepare and use land for crops or gardening. Dearest. Most loved or cherished. Defy. Openly resist or refuse to obey someone or something. Devoid. Completely lacking in. Disparity. A great difference. Diva. A famous female opera singer. Divert. Change the direction or course of. Eater. A person who consumes food in a specified way or of a specified kind. Farmhouse. A house attached to a farm. Fertilizer. A chemical or natural substance added to soil to increase its fertility. Filler. Something used to fill a gap or cavity, or to increase bulk. Flea. A small wingless jumping insect that feeds on the blood of mammals and birds. Footwear. Shoes, boots, and other coverings for the feet. Fritz. Informal, of a machine, stop working properly. Handbag. A woman's purse. Handicapped. Having a handicap or disability. Haze. A thin mist typically caused by fine particles of dust, pollutants, or water vapor. Haze. Force a new or potential recruit to the military, a college fraternity, etc., to perform strenuous, humiliating, or dangerous tasks. Helium. A light colorless gas that does not burn. Hemp. The cannabis plant. Hitch. An instance of hitting or being hit. Hitch. Move something into a different position with a jerk. Incarnation. A physical embodiment of a god, spirit, or quality. Intrusion. The action of entering a place or situation where one is unwelcome or uninvited. Inverse. Opposite in position, direction, order, or effect. Irritation. The state of feeling annoyed or angry. Lavish. Very rich, elaborate, or luxurious. Libyan. A person from Libya. Livelihood. A means of earning money in order to live. Marches. An area of land on the border between two countries or territories. Merlin. A small dark falcon. Midland. The middle part of a country. Miscellaneous. Of a number of things or people, of various types. Misguided. Showing poor judgment or reasoning. Morrow. Old use or literary the following day. Muster. Achieve a feeling, attitude, or reactio. If all the courage could muster, came to my decision. Muted. Of a sound or voice, quiet and soft. Noodle. A very thin, long strip of pasta or a similar flour paste. Nylon. A tough, lightweight synthetic material that can be made into fabric, yarn, and many other products. Override. Use one's authority to reject or cancel another's decision or order. Paranoia. A mental condition characterized by delusions of persecution, unfounded jealousy, or exaggerated self-importance. Peruvian. A person from Peru. Phosphate. Chemistry is salt or ester of phosphoric acid. Piping. Lengths of pipe. Plurality. The state of being plural or more than one. Prehistoric. Relating to the period before written records. Proton. Physics: a subatomic particle with a positive electric charge, occurring in all atomic nuclei. Psyche. The human soul, mind, or spirit. Redesign. Design something again or differently. Reluctance. Unwillingness to do something. Reopen. Open again. Rigging. The system of ropes or chains supporting a ship's masts and controlling or setting the yards and sails. Rotor. The rotating part of a turbine, electric motor, or other device. Sediment. Matter that settles to the bottom of a liquid. Seeming. Appearing to be real or true, apparent. Sneaking. Remaining in one's mind. Solitude. The state of being alone. Standby. Readiness for duty or immediate action. Stronghold. A place of strong support for a cause or political party. Stumble. Trip and briefly lose one's balance. Therein. Formal in that place, document, or respect. Triangular. Shaped like a triangle. Trooper. For a state police officer. Truthful. Telling or expressing the truth, honest. Turret. A small tower at the corner of a building or wall, especially of a castle. Ubiquitous. Present, appearing, or found everywhere. Unconventional. Not in accordance with what is generally done or believed. Unnoticed. Not noticed. Untouched. Not handled, used, or tasted. Visionary. Thinking about the future with imagination or wisdom. Voodoo. A religious cult of African origin practiced chiefly in the Caribbean, involving sorcery, possession by spirits, and elements of Roman Catholic ritual. Witchcraft. The practice of magic, especially the use of spells and the calling up of evil spirits. Adultery. Sexual intercourse. Agile. Able to move quickly and easily. Artifact. A useful or decorative man-made object. Austerity. Strictness or severity of appearance or manner. Awfully. Informal very or very much. Boob. Informal a woman's breast. Bouquet. A bunch of flowers. Bullock. A castrated male animal of the cattle family, raised for beef. Cad. Dated or humorous a man who behaves dishonorably, especially toward a woman. Carve. Cut into or shape a hard material to produce an object or design. Clubhouse. A building having a bar and other facilities for the members of a club. Coarse. Rough or harsh in texture. Collegiate. Relating to a college or its students. Commonplace. Not unusual or original, ordinary. Compute. Calculate a figure or amount. Contemplate. Look at someone or something thoughtfully. Coop. A cage or pen for poultry. Coronary. Relating to the arteries that surround and supply the heart. Crook. A shepherd's hooked staff. Cucumber. A long green-skinned fruit with watery flesh eaten raw in salads. Deco. Short for Art Deco. Depict. Represent someone or something by a drawing, painting, or other art form. Diagnose. Identify the nature of an illness or problem by examining the symptoms. Directorate. The board of directors of a company. Diver. A person who dives underwater as a sport or as part of their work. Dormant. Of an animal, in or as if in a deep sleep. Embarrass. Make someone feel awkward, self-conscious, or ashamed. Emulate. Try to do as well as or better than a person or an achievement. Evasion. The action of avoiding something. Evergreen. Of a plant, retaining green leaves throughout the year. Expulsion. The action of expelling someone or something. Filth. Disgusting dirt. Foliage. The leaves of a plant. Fortnight. Chiefly Brit. Genie. In 543 genteel Arabian folklore, a spirit, especially one capable of granting wishes when summoned. Goo. In formal, a sticky or slimy substance. Heartbroken. Suffering from overwhelming distress. Helper. A person who helps. Hesitant. Slow to act or speak as a result of indecision or reluctance. Hoop. A circular band of a rigid material. Hubby. Informal, a husband. Hurdle. One of a series of upright frames that athletes in a race must jump over. Hypertension. Abnormally high blood pressure. Indefinite. Not clearly expressed or defined, vague. Irrespective. Regardless of. Kicker. The player in a team who scores by kicking or who kicks to gain positional advantage. Ledge. A narrow horizontal surface projecting from a wall, cliff, or other vertical surface. Madeleine. A small rich sponge cake decorated with coconut and jam. Malt. Barley or other grain that has been soaked in water, allowed to sprout, and dried, used for brewing or distilling. Moderator. A person who helps people to settle a dispute. Mama. Variant spelling of mama. Monstrous. Very large and ugly or frightening. Morphology. The branch of biology concerned with the forms and structures of living organisms. Natal. Relating to the place or time of one's birth. Novice. A person who is new to and lacks experience in a job or situation. Obituary. A short biography of a person, published in a newspaper soon after their death. Ordination. The action of ordaining someone as a priest or minister. Parity. The state of being equal or equivalent. Persuasive. Good at persuading someone to do or believe something. Pew. A long bench with a back. Populace. Having a large population. Post-war. Occurring or existing after a war. Proactive. Creating or controlling a situation rather than just responding to it. Projector. A device for projecting slides or film onto a screen. Prudent. Acting with or showing care and thought for the future. Qualifier. A person or team that qualifies for a competition or its final rounds. Reputable. Having a good reputation. Revolver. A pistol with revolving chambers enabling several shots to be fired without reloading. Rink. Also ice rink, an enclosed area of ice for skating, ice hockey, or curling. Ripple. A small wave or series of waves. Sentinel. A soldier or guard whose job is to stand and keep watch. Solemn. Formal and dignified. Spacious. Having plenty of space. Substantive. Important or meaningful. Taxing. Physically or mentally demanding. Torah. The law of God as revealed to Moses and recorded in the Pentateuch. Torso. The trunk of the human body. Trojan. An inhabitant of ancient Troy in the western peninsula of Asia. Tumble. Fall suddenly, clumsily, or headlong. Unleash. Release an animal from a leash. Untrue. False or incorrect. Vitality. The state of being full of energy, liveliness. Windshield. A window at the front of a motor vehicle. Abyss. A very deep chasm or hole. Accession. The gaining of an important position or rank. Emir. Variant spelling of emir. Arithmetic. The branch of mathematics concerned with the properties and manipulation of numbers. Arson. The criminal act of deliberately setting fire to property. Authoritative. True or accurate and so able to be trusted. Barren. Of land too poor to produce vegetation. Basal. Forming or belonging to a base. Batsman. A player who plays of ground on which a battle is fought. Bedding. Bedclothes. Bender. Informal, a drinking session. Bourgeois. Having to do with the middle class, especially in being concerned with wealth and social status. Bribery. The giving or offering of a bribe. Brunette. A woman or girl with dark bubbly / babble / Buzzer. An electrical device that makes a buzzing noise to attract attention. Cactus. A succulent plant with a thick fleshy stem bearing spines but no leaves. Cassette. A sealed plastic case containing audiotape, videotape, film, etc., to be inserted into a recorder, camera, or other device. Childcare. The care of children while the parents are working. Chronological. Of a record of events, following the order in which they occurred. Cleavage. The space between a woman's breasts. Cohort. An ancient Roman military unit equal to 1/10 of a legion. Conceive. Become pregnant with a child. Cuddle. Hold someone close in one's arms as a way of showing love or affection. Culprit. A person who is responsible for a crime or offense. Diffusion. The action of spreading over a wide area. Dildo. An object shaped like an erect penis, used for sexual stimulation. Distrust. The feeling that someone or something cannot be relied on. Embark. Go on board a ship or aircraft. Ether. A highly flammable liquid used as an anesthetic and as a solvent. Etiquette. The customary rules of polite or correct behavior in a society or among members of a profession. Extravagant. Lacking restraint in spending money or using resources. Familiarity. Close acquaintance with or knowledge of something. Fender. The mudguard or area around the wheel well of a vehicle. Fetal. Relating to a fetus. Gorge. A steep, narrow valley or ravine. Greenwood. Old-use woods or forest and leaf, especially as a refuge for medieval outlaws. Harp. A musical instrument consisting of a frame supporting a series of parallel strings of different lengths, played by plucking with the fingers. Heartfelt. Deeply and strongly felt. Housewife. A married woman whose main occupation is caring for her family and running the household. Hypocrite. A person who claims to have higher moral standards than is the case. Insure. Arrange for compensation in the event of damage to or loss of property, or a death, in exchange for regular payments to a company. Joyful. Feeling or causing great pleasure or happiness. Kickoff. The start or resumption of a soccer match, with a kick from the center spot. Lacrosse. A team game, originally played by North American Indians, in which a ball is thrown, carried, and caught with a long-handled stick that has a net at one end. Latex. A milky fluid found in many plants, notably the rubber tree, that coagulates on exposure to the air. Leftover. Something, especially food, remaining after the rest has been used. Mammoth. A large extinct form of elephant with a hairy coat and long curved tusks. Matchup. A contest between athletes or sports teams. Modem. A device for converting digital and analog signals, especially to enable a computer to be connected to a telephone line. Motif. A single or repeated image forming a design. Newcomer. A person who has recently arrived. Ominous. Giving the impression that something bad is going to happen. Papal. Relating to the Pope or the papacy. Peril. A situation of serious and immediate danger. Posh. Informal, very elegant or luxurious, stylish. Precaution. Something done in advance to avoid problems or danger. Principally. For the most part, chiefly. Professionalism. The competence or skill expected of a professional. Rampage. Rush around in a wild and violent way. Rebirth. The process of being reincarnated or born again. Recharge. Charge a battery or a battery-operated device again. Retina. A layer at the back of the eyeball containing cells that are sensitive to light and from which impulses are sent to the brain. Riff. A short repeated phrase in popular music or jazz.